We're going to go over some word problems. We've been doing word problems a lot, and the reason we're doing them so often is because they are challenging. So I'm going to go through, I think I have 8 that I'm going to go through, and then there are, I think, 8 for you to try afterwards. And if you can join Zoom, then we're going to go through them in our Zoom meeting. And if you're not able to join Zoom, then I will send an answer key with you. Okay, so we have a snowmobile that can travel 13 kilometers on a liter of gas. And it's going to go 312 kilometers away. So he wants to know how many liters of gas he needs to travel to his aunt's community. So we have to define our variable first. So I'm going to use L, and that's going to be my liters. So I have, he can go 13 kilometers for each liter, and that needs to get him 312 kilometers. So now to solve it, we're going to divide both sides by 13. We're going to end up with my L equals 24. So he will need 24 liters of gas. Okay, next we have Lucy is making 4 pairs of mitts. She has 144 centimeters of trim, so around the cuffs of each mitt. So how much trim does she have for each mitt? So remember, if you're doing 4 pairs of mitts, that's actually 8 mitts altogether. So we're gonna let T be the trim. So I have 8 mitts that need some amount of trim, all equal amounts, and that's going to equal all of my fabric for that trim. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8, and I'm going to end up with the trim being 18. And how much trim does she need? So she needs 18 centimeters of trim for each mitt. All right, the percent of elementary school students who choose hockey as their favorite physical activity is 14%. This percent of students is 2% more than 4 times the percent who chose skiing. Find the percent of students who choose skiing. Okay, so 4 times the people who go skiing. Now we don't want to use an S, so let's use N. So number of skiers. Okay, so we have 4 times the number of skiers and 2 more. And that's going to be equal to the 14. So now we're going to solve, so we're going to minus 2 from both sides. And then we're going to divide by 4. So we get 3, so then we need to go back and answer it. So find the percent of students who choose skiing. So 3% of students choose skiing. Okay. If Jennifer doubled the money that she has in her account now and then took out $50, she would have enough left in her account to buy a new bike that costs $299. write and solve an equation to figure out how much she has now. So I'm going to use M for money now. So if she doubles her money and then takes out 50, she should be left with what she needs for that bike. So we're going to add the 50, which is 349, and then divide by 2. So the amount of money that she has now is $174.50. So she has $sign out front, $174.50 right now. Okay, let's look at the other ones. All right, we have a classroom. The length is 3 meters less than 2 times the width. And the classroom has a length of 9 meters. So we need to figure out what the width is. So let W be the width. So if I take my width and I go 2 times the width, and then 3 meters less than that, it should be equal to the length, which is 9. So add 3. And I'm answering my question already. Divide by 2, divide by 2. The width equals 6. So the width is 6. Look for units, meters. All right. Cost of concert tickets for a student is $2 less than 1/2 the cost of an adult. Cost of a student ticket is $5. Let A represent the cost of an adult ticket. So we don't have to define a variable if it's already defined for us. So we have to start with an adult ticket. We have to take half of it, which is to divide by 2. And then it's $2 less will equal the cost of a student ticket. So we're going to add 2. And then we're going to multiply by 2. So an adult ticket would be $14. Okay, now we got the last 2 are a little bit more tricky. So a fence around Gazelle's new tree is the shape of an equilateral triangle. That means that all sides are the same length. So she wants to increase the length of each side by 7 centimeters. The perimeter, which means to add up all sides, of the new fence will be 183. So I'm going to define my variable. So I'm going to say let X be length of old fence. So my old fence would have been this long, but now she's going to increase each side by 7. So each side is going to be X plus 7. And I have 3 sides that are all that. So instead of going X plus 7 plus X plus 7 plus X plus 7, I can also go 3 groups of X plus 7. And when I put them all together, it should be 183. So I'm going to do this one using the distributive property, which means to multiply that coefficient in. So I end up with 3 x's, and 21 is equal to 183. Minus 21, I get 3x equals 162. Divide by 3. And I end up with x equals 54. So determine the length of each side of the old fence. So the length of the sides of the old fence is 54 centimeters. Okay, so this one we have a picture of a dog, and then we're going to put a frame around. And it's a square, meaning all the sides are the same. So I'm going to let X be length of the picture. So if this is X, and then the border around the picture is 2. So from here to here would be 2, and from here to here would be 2. So that means that on the big long outside border, we have the X, which is from here to here, plus 2 on this side, plus 2 on this side. So the entire side would be X plus 4, and all sides are equal. So I have 4 groups of X plus 4, and that should equal the perimeter, which is 96. I'm going to solve this by dividing first. So divide both sides by 4. I'm left with X plus 4 equals 24, minus 4 from both sides, and I get X is 20. So the picture is 20 by 20.